Hey guys, what's up? Third time's a charm here. If you're still watching, which is probably just a handful of you, but the handful that do watch or are watching this right now, I first and foremost want to say I appreciate that and I appreciate you. I know it's been a while since you guys have seen me. I've been far and few in between, non-existent on this channel. And I want to give you guys a rundown of where I've been, what I've been up to, and what can you expect of me, or what can you not expect of me. So going all the way back to 2014, when I first got into dumpster diving. I remember going to GameStop and that rush of adrenaline, trying to see what they'd thrown out that was still salvageable, what I could save and start collecting. And I know some of you out there have different opinions about dumpster diving. You might think it's dirty, and yeah, it is a dirty hobby, if you want to call it a hobby. Some people are like, I can't believe you call that a hobby, but it is dirty. But that's why you can do things to sanitize yourself and the products you find and save and salvage, and wear protective things to protect you while you're doing the dumpster diving. That's another video for another day, and probably a video I've touched on a couple times and lots of other people have probably touched on. But started the whole dumpster diving journey, and initially I didn't record that. The first few I did on my own, and then I thought, maybe I could just show other people the things I've done and the things I'm finding, and this could be a whole thing. And it turned out to be much bigger than I expected at the time. We're talking 10 years ago. YouTube was a very different place. They've gone through X number of changes since then, and then you've had other YouTubers from all different kinds of categories come onto the platform. You've got YouTube Gaming, you've got YouTube Live, the shorts are now a thing. We went for a solid 3 years there, or we found things consistently. We were able to make some good content, and then it just fizzled out. And sometimes in life, things just kind of die off. There's no rhyme or reason. It was probably a combination of me just losing interest. I was changing careers a couple times, and my schedule was different. And with that, your priorities shift, your focus shifts, and it either some things just stick or they don't. And it's just how life worked out for me. And I had some here and there afterwards, post 2017. But it was far and few in between. That was definitely the downward settling of my channel for sure. Had some cool giveaways. I think the first giveaway I ever did, I think I gave away a PlayStation 1 with Final Fantasy VII. Looking back, especially how the retro market is now with the boom since COVID, I gave that away, and it probably didn't cost a lot, but it was a pretty sweet giveaway. And sorry, I'm tooting my own horn, but I'm just reminiscing on what once was and just the beginning of. I also see myself as someone that got lucky in that time. Okay, I started dumpster diving in the time when the Xbox One and the PS4 were coming out, so you had the transition of the 360 and the PS3. So there was lots to be thrown out, lots to be had, lots of consoles that, not just with GameStop, but other local game shops that are changing out their stuff. They've got so much inventory, right, of all these different things getting traded in, getting sold to them that they're buying. And so I found lots of good stuff, both at GameStop and other places. So I feel as though I got extremely lucky, and I was very fortunate in the position I was. 2019 COVID happens, life goes on, my focus has changed, and then lo and behold, 8 months ago, I got into Pokemon. And before that, I had got into collecting my old cards that I had when I was a kid, and then I got into collecting sealed product. And as you can see behind me, I've collected a lot of different things now in the last year and a half. So I didn't get into collecting until, like I said, a year and a half ago. It started with my vintage Pokemon singles. I just wanted to get the base set to fossil, things that I remember that I enjoyed. And then it slowly got out of control. I collected all of as much modern as possible. And when I say modern, in the last couple of years, I'm referring to Sword and Shield. You could lump even Sun and Moon as modern. And I'm not a reseller. I've never sold Pokemon. at least as a hobby or a business, or to make some extra cash consistently. I have sold some of my collection, but I never did it consistently. And if that's your thing, fine. Be all, if you think you're good at it or you're doing great at it and that's something that interests you and you like to collect and resell, great. That's awesome. I was never that kind of person. I collected to collect for me. Gotten into a lot of different things. Pokemon. I've started to branch out to figures now, which it's, and even sealed games, like it's a rabbit hole. So be careful, where you're wanting to collect, because you can collect almost anything, especially in the toy and video game and card market. There's so many things, both old especially and new. For me, I prefer the vintage stuff. So I'm not like a big 80s fan, but things from the 90s, the 2000s. But that's, like I said, it's another video, another day. I digress. We're here in 2024. I didn't get a ton of enjoyment long term with opening packs. To me, that's just not something I want to do with my channel long term. And so I tried that out. It really wasn't for me. Some people can do that for years and have done that in the trading card scene. But for me, it just wasn't fun long term. Or if anything, I'd rather open packs on my own time. So I haven't opened packs in months and months and months. It's just not something I look to buy. If I'm going to buy a sealed product, I prefer to buy a booster box or collection box. I actually like the way they look. We can talk about that a whole other day. You can suggest some topics, but that's a whole other thing. And everybody has their opinion on sealed versus not sealed singles. I've transitioned a lot with content and careers in my life. I lived in Indiana for 14 years, and in 2014 I was in Indiana. You probably saw some episodes where I was in the snow or the icy cold, where you saw my breath. But the last 2 years I've moved back to Florida, and that's where I'm originally from. So I'm here back in Florida. Definitely not the greatest place to dumpster dive. I've thought about it. I'm not gonna lie, I've thought about dumpster diving, but there's a lot of crazy people here, and drivers are insane. Could I get back into dumpster diving? Sure, but I want to do it because I would enjoy it, not because of content. And people flock and want to see that, and I enjoy it, then that's a win-win. I've got some topics or ideas for videos, not necessarily going to settle on one thing, but I would like to go through some of my collection, some of the things in a video where I've still kept things from dumpster diving, and yes, I do have some things. I've probably gotten rid of 90% of the things I've had in the last 10 years, because that's a lot to hold on to in 10 years from dumpster diving. I collected a lot, and even if you were here back in the day, you saw that I got rid of a lot of stuff to get my first motorcycle. I'd like to show you guys those things if you weren't here for those times, and also to maybe take some episodes or videos to react and reflect on my old episodes of dumpster diving, because I don't remember everything, and I'd love to do that with you guys. And I don't want that to be an every video kind of thing, because that can maybe get boring to some of you guys. But eventually, I'd like to, I guess if you want to call it, like I said, react, but I like to think of it as reflecting. If you've got some ideas for collectibles or pickups, even, pickups were something I did a long time ago. Lots of people have done them for content, especially in the beginning if you're starting out with video games or trading cards or figures, things like that. I did pickups way back in the day. It was just something I did randomly, and I could definitely do that, because I have picked up some things here and there. I hope everybody is doing well, and I hope everybody has grown a lot in the best possible way in the last 10 years. And if you're still here, then let's find that passion again, and find something you're passionate in doing, even if it's not YouTube. See ya! When you do YouTube because you love to make certain kinds of content, not because of the views, not because of the money. Do it because you love to do it, no other reason.